Hello dear viewers, welcome to today's English session of BD24 Online School. This is once again Muhammad Shahidul Islam with you. In our session, today we are going to discuss such a topic that we face a lot of difficulties with. And without these things, we are unable to make English sentences. So, let me declare the topic first. Today our topic is 10 basic rules of subject-verb agreement. We all know that we can't make English sentences without subject and verb, and in case of using subject and verb properly, as I have already told you, we face difficulties. So in our session, we'll discuss 10 basic rules. If we follow these 10 basic rules, we'll be able to use subject and verb easily. So let's start today's session. First of all, let me tell you the first rule. Rule number 1, subject and verb must agree in number. So what does this rule say? This rule says that if the subject is singular, the verb will also be a singular one. And if the verb is plural, then the subject will also be plural. So let me show you 2 examples. The first example in the board is a good book teaches a lot. So first of all, let me identify the subject. The subject here is a good book. A good book. So you can see that it's a singular. So the verb is also singular. A good book teaches a lot. The subject is singular, so the following verb is also singular. And now let me show you the second example. The boys play together. So what is the subject? The boys. The boys is the subject here, and it's a plural subject. So the verb is also plural, play. So dear viewers, you have seen that if the subject is singular, the verb will also be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb will also be plural. So this is the basic thing. Subject and verb must agree on number. So let's move on to the next rule. The next rule, verb follows the subject when, with, along with, together with, as well as these words are used in a sentence, but they are separated from the subject. With, along with, together with, as well as, these words may come in a sentence, but if they are separated from the subject, then the verb will not follow with, along with, together with, or as well as. The verb will always follow the subject. So let me show you some examples. The example that I have written here is Spider-Man, along with the Avengers, stands against Thanos. So the subject here is Spider-Man. Though along with is here, but this along with is not connected with Spider-Man, it's separated. The Avengers is also not connected with Spider-Man, it's separated. So the subject here is Spider-Man and the verb is stands. As Spider-Man is a singular noun, the verb is also singular, stands. Spider-Man stands against Thanos. Though along with the Avengers is here, we can't use a plural verb here. We have to use a singular verb, which is stands. So with, along with, together with, or as well as may come in a sentence, but if they are separated from the subject, the verb will always follow the subject. So let me give you the third rule. The third rule that I have written here, 2 subjects joined by and take a plural verb. If the 2 subjects in a sentence, singular noun, and they are connected by and, then they will always take a plural verb, not a singular verb. So let me show you an example. Macbeth and Banquo. They are 2 singular nouns, right? Macbeth and Banquo. We are supposed to use, or maybe we will think that here we will use a singular noun, but no, as these 2 singular nouns are connected by and, we'll have to use a plural verb. Macbeth and Banquo are different. So the subject is Macbeth, Banquo, and they are connected by and, so the verb is plural. Are. Macbeth and Banquo are different. So you have to remember, even if the subject is singular, but they are connected through an and we have to use a plural verb. But there is some exceptions as well. Let me show you the exception. Rice and fish. See, rice, a singular noun, fish, a singular noun. They are connected by and, but the verb is singular. Is. Rice and fish, two singular noun connected by and, but the verb is singular. Why? Because when the two things mean the same entity or the same unit, the subject, two subjects, two singular noun, they are meaning a same unit, then the verb will be singular. When they will mean different units, the subject, the verb will be plural. Macbeth and Banquo, they are two different units. But rice and fish, they are same units. That's why the subject is singular here, and the subject is, and the verb is plural here. So let's move on to the fourth rule. The fourth rule says that two subjects joined by either or, neither nor, not only but also, or nor, that and the subject agrees to the verb which is close to the subject. If in a sentence we see that either or, neither nor, or nor, not only but also, these things are here, then the verb will take the subject will take the verb that agrees to the closest one. Verb that agrees to the subject close to it. Okay, so let me show you some examples. The example says here, not only you but also I. Not only you but also I, the verb is am, not are. Not only you but also I am ready. Here we have used not only but also, but the verb is am, which is close to I. So the verb will follow the closest subject. Not you, the verb will follow the closest subject. And finally, the fifth one is collective nouns. We know a group of nouns, when they work as one entity or one unit, we call it collective nouns. If collective nouns are in a sentence, they may take a singular or plural verb. It will vary and it will be based on the context of a sentence. So collective nouns, they might take singular verb, they might take plural verb, but it will vary and it will vary on the context. So let me show you some examples. The example here that I have written, the couple, it's a collective noun. The couple goes together. Here they are doing something together, and that's why they are one unit. So as one unit, the subject, the verb will be singular. As a singular unit, the subject will be singular, goes. And in the second sentence, the couple have gone separately. Here they are doing something, but they are doing it not as one unit, but they are doing it differently, and that's why the verb will be plural. The couple have gone separately. So you see, if collective nouns work as a team, the verb will be singular, and if the collective noun work differently, the verb will be plural. So dear viewers, in our 5 basic rules, we have learned that subject and verb, they must agree. If the subject is singular, the verb will be singular. If the verb is plural, the subject will also be plural. And then we have also learned with, along with, together with, and as well as these words we may find in a sentence, but the verb will always follow the subject. And in third case, we have learned that if two singular nouns are connected by and, the verb will always be plural. The exception is when two singular nouns will mean a same unit, a same entity, then the verb will be singular. And in the fourth rule, we have learned that either or, neither nor, or nor, not only but also, these things we may find in a sentence, but the verb will follow the subject, which one is closest to the verb. And in the fifth one, we have learned that collective nouns, they take both singular verb and plural verb, but it varies on the context of the sentence. The rule number 6, it says that subject will follow the verb. In our previous class, we learned that subject doesn't follow the verb, verb follows the subject. But here we are learning a new thing, that subject will also follow the verb when the sentence begins with here or there. So if a sentence begins with here or there, then the subject will follow the verb. So let me show you some examples. The first example, here is. So the verb is a singular one, so the subject will also be a singular. Here is a restaurant. So you have observed that as the verb is singular, the subject is also a singular one. And in the next example, there are. The verb is plural, are. So the subject will also be plural. There are a lot of books. There are a lot of books. So you have seen that if the subject is singular, if the verb is singular, the subject following the verb will also be singular. And if the verb is plural, the subject following the verb will also be plural. So the condition is that the sentence has to be started with here or there. So let's move to rule number 7. The rule number 7 says that singular indefinite pronouns, they take singular verb. Singular indefinite pronouns. For example, either, neither, or, nor, one, nobody, somebody, etc. And plural indefinite pronouns, they will take plural verb. So the plural indefinite pronouns, for example, several, few, both, many, etc., they will take plural verbs. So I have written 2 examples from both of them. Let me show you. The first example, nobody. It's a singular indefinite pronoun. So this verb will also be singular. Nobody is. Nobody is singular indefinite pronoun. The verb is also singular. Nobody is innocent. And in the next sentence, many, it's a plural indefinite pronoun. Many stories. So the verb will also be plural, are. Many stories are heard. So the condition is, if the pronoun is singular indefinite, the verb will also be singular. If the pronoun is plural indefinite, the verb will also be plural. So let's go to the rule 8. Rule number 8 tells us that measurement, time, money, and weight, if they are considered as a single unit, not different unit, but as a single unit, then the verb will also be singular. Measurement, time, money, and weight. So let me show you an example. The example that I have written here is 500. It's an amount of money which expresses a singular unit. 500. So the verb will be singular, not plural. 500, a singular unit. The verb is also singular. Seems. 500 seems a reasonable price. So as the money is expressing a singular unit, the verb is also singular. So let's move to rule number 9. The rule number 9, it tells us that plural form subjects with a singular meaning will take a singular verb. Now there are some subjects which form a plural way, but they mean a singular noun. For example, thesis, mathematics, politics, economics. They seem plural, but they mean a singular entity. So in such cases, the verb will be a singular one. For example, mathematics. It forms like a plural but means a singular. So the verb will always be a singular one. Mathematics is, not are. Mathematics is not my subject. Mathematics is. So whether it forms as a plural but the meaning is singular, then the verb will be singular. And last but not the least, title of single entities. Title of single entities will always take a singular verb. What are title of single entities? For example, name of countries, name of organizations, etc. Such thing will always take a singular verb. For example, UNESCO is a name of an organization, but it is a singular or single entity, so it will take a singular verb. UNESCO works, not work. UNESCO works for the world. So dear viewers, let me summarize the rules once again. The first rule says that sometimes subject will follow the verb when the sentence begins with here or there. Then singular indefinite pronoun, they will always take singular verb. Plural indefinite pronoun, they will always take plural verb. And then measurement, time, money and weight, if they indicate a singular unit, the verb will always be a singular one. And number 9, there are some subjects which form plural but mean singular, they will take a singular verb. And finally, the title or name of a singular entity, name of countries, name of organizations, they will always take a singular verb. So that's all the basic 10 rules of subject and verb agreement. And as I have already told you in our first session, that without subject and verb, we can't make sentence. So these lectures are very much important for us, and if we follow these lectures, we'll be able to use subject and verb properly and we'll make less mistakes. So I hope that this lecture was fruitful for you. See you later. Allah Hafiz.